Zidane Danny, Electric Ninja here, and welcome back to more streams here on Electric Ninja's Lab. I am playing Marvel Rivals today, and I actually have a friend with me. Say hi, Jack.
Hello! Hey, howdy, hey.
And Jack's playing Pokemon right now. Yeah.
I am playing Pokemon Emerald for the first time. I have played Ruby about 100 times. But I recently got a set of Gen 3. So I have all of them, and I gave Ruby to my sibling.
Nice.
So yeah.
And
So
yeah, you're going through them, and you had something that you wanted to say about
yeah,
Rivals.
so I love the rivals. Like that's my favorite one of my favorite things in Pokemon. And also I think that May is basically just Nimona in a different skin. Because they both start off like, I have a dream that we could be friends! And I just found that really ironic that, like, Gen 3 May is like, I just have a dream we could be friends! Oh, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself! And then, like, a billion years later, we have Gen 9, where Nimona is like, I had this dream that we could be friends! And oh, I'm getting ahead of myself, and I'm like, you're literally the same person. Except, Nimona is a good sport, whereas May's a bitch. I want to smack her in the face sometimes. And so is Blue. Because on Pokemon Red, Generation 1,
Yeah.
Blue, your rival, because I'm playing as Red, so obviously I'm Red.
Yeah.
As soon as Blue meets you, he is just a plain bitch. He is just mean. There is no reason for it. He is just an asshole.
Yep.
And you just sit there like, who wrote this? Why is my best friend also my bully?
That's a good question.
And you're like, why do I let him do these things to me? And then you get to Gen 2. And same thing happens.
Well,
and then you get to Gen 3. Gen 3, what?
Well, I'm thinking Gen 2, he's an actual criminal. He's never been your friend.
That's true.
So Blue, yes, I agree with you there that it's like he's supposed to be your best friend. Why is he such a dick?
Literally, he's the worst. And well, that's true. Gen 2, he's a literal criminal, and yeah, that's the whole thing. I forgot about that. I just knew he was kind of a dick to you, but I forgot that he was a literal criminal because I've never finished it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, he actually gets better, which I think is kind of a fun thing about Gen 2, is that Silver, he starts out as a dick. You'd learn a little bit more about him if you they cut some of it out, unfortunately, because it's what was it in frickin' in the Celebi event. You can find out that his father is Giovanni. I think you can kind of figure it out beforehand, but that is specifically stated. And
yeah,
you kind of understand a little bit more of where he's coming from.
That makes sense.
So
okay.
That. But you're saying.
So you have asshole for the sake of being an asshole. Asshole because he's a criminal. And then you get to Gen 3, and she's literally, if you play as a boy, you get May.
Yep.
I've never played as a girl, so I don't know who you get if you play as a girl. My sister's playing as a girl, and I have not asked. You get Brendan? What a name. Jesus Christ. Oh God, Brendan. The only nice Brendan I've ever met in my life is one of my clients, and he's just a sweet guy. But he's also, like, he lives in a group home, and has for some quote-unquote behaviors, and so you're like, okay, he's wonderful, but you probably shouldn't piss him off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love him. He's great. Anyway, wow, Brendan. Anyway, that's crazy. Okay, so also I love that Professor Birch is like, you beat May on your first try, regardless of if you actually did, which I feel like kind of rubs it in that you didn't. Like, I didn't, because I had 3 encounters on the way there and hadn't bought a potion yet. And so I friggin' got to May with like half health. Well, she takes fucking 1 shot at me, and it's like, oh, critical hit! So I lost and had to, but I hadn't gone to the Pokemon Center, and so it took me back to my house.
Yeah. Always.
And I was like, fuck you. Now I'm at the lab, and he goes, you beat May on your first try, and I'm like, oh, but only if you knew.
Yeah.
And then he gives me a Pokedex anyway, and I'm like, cool. The Pokedex is a high-tech tool that automatically makes a record of any Pokemon you meet or catch. My kid May goes everywhere with it. Which is funny, why now I understand. I forgot that when you're a girl, you have a male rival. Because he says my kid, not my son and my daughter. That makes sense. It's just the same.
Yeah. I think it's kind of interesting for sure, because yeah, they I think they might have changed that later, where like in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, where he'll say son/daughter, depending on what character you choose.
Hang on.
I could be wrong.
Well,
might say kid. He might still say kid, but I think that he does.
If you give me 5 seconds, I will look. Because I happen to have Alpha Sapphire right here. It was really funny. So yesterday I was at church, and Mama Bear had said something like, I want a retro handheld, but I don't know which retro handheld. And so I like opened my backpack, and you know that trope in movies, like action movies, where there's a character who just kind of pulls out way too many weapons for what's reasonable?
Yeah.
So that's what I did, except imagine that with retro handheld game consoles. Okay. So I pull out a Game Boy Color, a Game Boy Advance, and a 2DS. And I go, well, I have some options for you.
Oh my gosh.
And she goes, well, I was thinking about a Game Boy Advance SP. So I reach into my backpack and pull one out and go, oh, you mean this?
Oh my
And she's
gosh.
like, she looks at me like, are you for real with this right now? And I was like,
I mean, come on.
yes. Okay, hang on. How do I restart Alpha Sapphire? Because I think... Oh, I may actually not have started this one since giving it to my friend when I restarted it for her. Let's see. Pokedex 5. Oldale Town. Okay. How to restart Alpha Sapphire. Up, B, and X. Okay. Well, that didn't work. Okay.
I think I just saved my a few of my party members from getting destroyed. And then I immediately died.
Okay, let's see. I fucked up my entire game box. That's really annoying. Stop it. Okay, this fox. Only there are 2 empty. Okay, rubies in 1 and emeralds in 8. Okay, don't act like that. You know you fit in there just fucking fine. Okay. Play Alpha Sapphire in English. Begin game. As Emerald is just sitting here on my GBA because I can't save it right now. I'm in the middle of a cutscene. Okay. Mostly because I want to see if you're right. I'm so interested. Does it say the gender neutral my kid, or does it say my son / my daughter?
Yeah, the only reason I'm not that I feel like it does is because that is the most recent game that I've played, and it doesn't sound familiar with them saying.
My name is Birch, but everyone calls me the Pokemon Professor. This is what we call a Pokemon. Yes, I know. It's fine. The world is widely inhabited by creatures known as Pokemon. Yes. I hate that you can't skip this.
That's fair.
It's always fun to watch, though, I guess.
Okay.
What about you? Are you a boy or a girl? I'm a boy! Will you give me your name, too? Sounds like a fey trap!
A what trap?
Fey. Like fairies.
Oh.
Can I have your name?
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
I'm just gonna put Kel. Because I am lazy.
You don't want to put your full name?
No. So you're Kel. Yes. Ah, I see. Oh, Jesus. I forgot how horrible the outfits are in this game.
Yeah, that's true.
The 3D did not do it any favors. I mean, even if that's what we were supposed to look like with the weird leggings and tennis shoes in the original game, yeah, this is just sad. Oh, why is there an Azumarill? Oh no, that's just a Azumarill. I'm dumb. I get those all mixed up. I'm too dyslexic for that line of Pokemon. I just can't remember which is which. Okay, now that I have sat through the world's longest opening scenes. Whee! Oh, it's a plush toy. Never mind. Oh, and look, now we're Chibi. How cute. Okay, yeah, I get it. We just jumped out of the back of a moving truck. That is not legal.
No, it is not.
You cannot convince me that somehow, somewhere in Japan, that is a legal thing to do. Like, really?
Well, I mean...
That just sounds shady as shit.
Well, I mean, we do it in America, too.
Who the hell is riding in the back of the moving truck?
Farmers.
No, that's the back of a pickup truck.
Even still, they'll do it. I've seen it.
No, that's different. The pickup truck is very different, especially when you're on a farm.
Yeah.
That's like a whole different world. The laws do not apply on a farm. Because you're going like 12 miles an hour. If you're going any faster, you're going to run something important over.
Yeah.
So if you're on a farm, laws like that just simply don't apply. But this was literally like you were moving from a city somewhere, God knows where, to Little Root Town and God knows how far away it was.
Yeah.
But you were in the back of the moving truck with all your shit and a plush Meryl. Because that makes sense. What do you think? This is going to be our new home. It has a quaint feel, but it looks like it should be a nice place to live, right? In the original game, she says, easy place to live.
That's true.
In the original game, there are Vigoroths moving. So what's in... And this one is Machamps.
Yep.
That's funny. It's Vigoroths in Emerald.
I think it's still Machamps and stuff in Ruby and Sapphire, isn't it? Or am I crazy?
I would check, but I'm not about to restart my Ruby profile. Oh, hang on. Let me pull out Sapphire. I can do that.
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
I'm curious!
We have something that we're focusing on, though.
And what is that?
About whether or not they use my kid, or if they say.
Oh, you're right. Okay, so I'll figure out if it's Machamp in Sapphire after I figure out what pronoun Professor Birch uses for his child. Okay. I have to go check out my room because the Pokemon movers are supposedly really convenient. You should go upstairs and see your new room. Oh, fuck the clock! Oh, I forgot that the double screen on this means you automatically have a town map. That's really cool. Okay, clock. The clock on the wall isn't moving. In the original game, it says the clock is stopped. You've got to set the time. What time is it? 8:50. Okay. Oh, my 2DS is like off as shit. Says it's. What is 21 in military time?
That would be. Isn't that 9 o'clock?
Like something like that. Yeah.
I think that's 9 o'clock.
I think it is. So it thinks it's like almost 10 o'clock here.
Jeez.
It's not. It's 8:50 a.m.
Yeah.
Make sure everything's here on your desk. Yep. It's just going to tell me how to open. There's a roll of adventure rules you jotted down. Number 1, open menu with the X button. Forward your progress to save. Yep. Okay. Oh, Cal, come quickly. Dad's on TV. It's Petalburg Gym. Maybe Dad'll be on TV. And we missed it.
I think it's kind of interesting because, like, it doesn't appear like there's any real problems between in Ruby and Sapphire. There doesn't appear to be any problems between your mom and your dad, but at the same time, it's like kind of weird that they're like not like she moved you and you and her to the other town while he's staying in the city.
That is strange. I had thought about that, but I also was like, well, maybe mom has some shit like the vapors. Walk into the house. Yeah. Oh, she's in her room upstairs. In Ruby, I believe she's already out in the... No, wait, hang on. Is she upstairs in her room in Ruby? I think so. It's hard to remember. I played Ruby so many times, it's hard for me to remember the exact openings. Oh, those shorts. That is something else. I'm glad to meet you. Inside this stream, I'll be playing Pokemon over the world. Oh god, I forgot. I have forgotten how to use a joystick because I've been playing nothing but Game Boy. My 2DS has a joystick, and this is my. So I'm using the D-pad, and I feel like that's really dating me right now.
To be fair, um, Nintendo stuck to the D-pad for way longer than like almost anybody else did.
This is true. Okay,
So,
which Pokemon should I pick for my starter? Because this is what we have to do before we can talk to Professor Birch. In the bag. Okay. So I have in Emerald on my Game Boy Advance right now. I picked Trico. In Ruby, I picked Torchic. So I should theoretically pick Mudkip. Because that's what I'm gonna pick in my playthrough of Sapphire on my GBA or Game Boy or SP.
Yeah.
Can't decide.
So you're
whenever.
going with Trico with Emerald. You're going with and you said Torchic with what?
Ruby. My Ruby has a Torchic that's like level 13 right now.
Well, maybe you should go with a Mudkip then.
That's what I said.
Okay, yeah, go with Mudkip. It's fun.
Choose this Pokemon. Yep, okay. I also want to know if May still gets the Pokemon that's strong against yours in this one.
Yes.
So, 2 questions. She does.
Yes.
I haven't played Alpha Sapphire in 5 ever. Okay, fight the Poochyena. What? Oh, you already have Water Gun. Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they.
It took until. Oh, I got you. That makes sense.
Actually, wait. I think your rival in Let's Go, they use the same. They use the weak type, but that's it. I think that's the only one that does that.
Nope. Starting in Generation 4, they picked the weaker type to yours.
Well, I mean, like in the in remakes.
Oh, yeah, in remakes. Yeah. Well, Let's Go is a very loose remake.
Yeah.
I went into. You saved my hide. Yay! Yeah, you're so cool. Oh, by the way, you're that kid. And we're going to the lab. Where May is not. Oh my gosh. The cutscenes in this are going to be the death of me. I'm already annoyed.
Fair. That's fair.
So, Cal, I've heard so much about you from your father, but you said you don't have your own Pokemon yet. If that's true, that was quite a performance back there. Looks like you really are your father's son. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, Cal received Mudkip. Yay! No, I'm not giving him a Nick. Nope.
No
not giving a nickname.
You don't want to play.
I'm not a nickname guy.
You're not gonna do a freaking Nuzlocke?
No. You know, if you work with the Pokemon accent. Ah, yeah, it says my girl, May.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I kind of.
Wow. So I'm assuming with if you picked a girl character, it would say my boy Brendan.
Yeah. That's
crazy.
I was thinking that it was. I wasn't 100% certain, but yeah. Because I've only played Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Well, actually only Alpha Sapphire, but that's besides the point.
Okay. So, hang on. Let me save this because why the fuck not? Okay. Turn off that. Now, let's see. Are they Machamps in Pokemon Sapphire? That's the question. How much of these games is the same? And how much is not? And the question also is, will my Game Boy Advance SP stay alive long enough for me to check?
Good question.
Because it currently is on red battery, and it died on me last night. But that could just be because it likes to die on me randomly anyway. It's an original. It's not been refurbished. It's just when it was new.
Yeah.
So it's
they're not the best. They're older systems. What do you expect? They're
Mama Bear goes, that's the one I want. And I was like, you just want it because it's backlit. That's the whole reason. That's it. That's the reason. And you are. And my name is still all capitals. Are you a boy or a girl? I'm not gonna save this, so let's play as a girl. What is your new nick? What is your name? Fuck. What's a girl name? If you say my dead name, I swear to Jesus.
I'm not gonna say your dead name. Let's see. Probably. What would be good? I mean, Qualia. But.
That's stupid. Oh, Game Boy died. JK.
Okay.
Just kidding. Back to Emerald. Until I can save, then we're gonna open up Sapphire again. Oh, it's fun if you can get a lot of your own Pokemon. I'm gonna look all over the place because I want different Pokemon! Me too. If I find any cute Pokemon, I'll catch them with Pokeballs! Yes, May, we get it. You're adorable.
Dang.
Okay. Oh, Mom, wait, Kellen. Oh, running shoes!
Nice.
Yeah, so what an adorable Pokemon. You got it from Professor Birch. How nice. You're your father's child, alright? You look good together.
Yeah, that's another thing about the SP because yeah, it is it has the backlight. That is probably why it dies so quickly.
Yeah, well, that and it doesn't run on AAAs or AA's.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's really a huge part of the problem.
Yeah.
Because it's a battery that doesn't last forever. Like, it's been... When did the SP come out? 2005?
Yeah.
So, it's been literally 20 years since this was new.
Yeah, that's true.
Much less the Game Boy Advance or my Game Boy Color. Although my Game Boy Advance and my Game Boy Pocket are refurbished.
Yeah.
But my Game Boy Color is just an original Game Boy Color, which explains why the D-pad doesn't always like to work. But that's okay.
Ugh. Yeah.
The battery is great on it because I can use actually good batteries on it. Go get him, honey. Thanks, Mom. Let's grind a little bit to level up this Trico because I am a glutton for punishment. Oh, right. You're basically dead. I forgot about that. Well, shit. Okay. Doo-doo-doo. Oh, shit. I forgot about this. Oh, shit. Yes, thank you. I got a text that said, you have therapy on Wednesday. Yes, I do. This is true. Run! Away safely. Because Trico is practically dead. And I am not going back to my fucking house. Okay. So, Pokemon Center. Okay. Hello and welcome.
Okay. What am I doing?
So that's the same.
What's the same?
It's a sprite that in Gen 1 is called Super Nerd. I don't know what it's called in Gen 3, but they were a I think it might just be scientist. It's just they wear a lab coat.
Yeah, they changed a lot, but they didn't change that much. I mean, considering the fact that you have Mega Evolution now, it's like...
That's fair. Okay, going to the store. Welcome! How may I serve you? Buy potion. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, but that doesn't leave me enough for Pokeballs. Well, I don't really need Pokeballs until I don't really want to catch anything before it's like level 9 or 10. So 6 potions, please. Thank you. You don't have enough money. Yeah, I know. Okay, get out of here. Bye-bye. Here we go.
And I did.
Now we can do some grinding. A Wingull, really? Wow, that's crazy.
Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. So one thing that I find kind of interesting about Marvel Rivals is just like each character really does feel different. Like very few of them feel samey. So I think that's really good.
Yeah. So Trico is level 7. At level 6, he learned Absorb, which is kind of crazy.
Dang.
And just took out a Wingull in like 2 shots because I forgot that Wingull is also water type and is weak, therefore, to grass.
Yep.
So that's super fun. I forgot that. I also didn't know that Wingull could show up this early in this game, but I guess that makes sense since we're right near water. What's the Poochyena? I feel like we all grew up saying Pokemon names differently because we only read them. No one ever pronounced them for us.
Well, I mean, if you watch the anime, you kind of know they kind of do set like specific names, but it's very few. Only like
Exactly.
Yeah. Like I think everyone still says Porygon, but that's because everyone's aware of the whole situation with Porygon.
I'm sorry, how was Porygon pronounced?
Porygon. That's how it's pronounced.
But,
well, the situation with Porygon is that the one episode that had Porygon in it was banned, and everyone was talking about it for years. They still are talking about it.
Oh, no, I knew that. Okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't know why that was the big deal with Porygon. That we don't technically know how to pronounce it because we never saw it in the anime.
Yeah.
If that's the case, there's a lot of Pokemon you don't actually know anything about. I'm gonna save because this Game Boy is behaving funny and the power light is being weird. Yep.
Where are these guys gonna come from?
Okay, now that I've saved... Oh. Now that I've saved, we turn it off. We're gonna see if they're Machamps in Sapphire because they are Vigoroths in Emerald, which is interesting because I forgot what they are. I think they're Machamps in Ruby too.
Mm. Yeah, I feel like they changed a lot between Emerald, after like with Emerald than they did with Ruby.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So.
Ruby and Sapphire came out the same year, 2003,
Yeah.
and Emerald came out in 2005.
Yeah. Can someone please deal with that sniper?
Oh god, snipers.
Yeah, it's freaking Black Widow, and she's not good. She's actually like one of the worst characters in the game.
Oh jeez. Oh!
But if you're close,
Your house is on the wrong side!
Yeah!
What are you doing?
Yeah!
No!
That's
wrong! That's not right! I hate that! I mean, it's too right, because it's on the right. It's not on the left. Why are you not on the left? What the fuck? Oh, I hate that!
I forgot about
Oh, god! That's like being brutally attacked by something.
Oh,
I took psychic damage from that. That gave me psychic damage. I took 1d4 psychic damage for that. The words are the same, but the house is different.
Are you playing as a guy or a girl?
A girl.
Yeah. I think I remember that. Like, if you're playing as a guy, you're always on the same side. But if you're playing as a girl, then you're... Yeah.
That is bizarre. I hate that.
So
I hate
bizarre.
everything about that. That... I've never hated something so much in Pokemon before. That... Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oof.
It's bizarre as fuck.
Oh. Hey, wait. What are they? They are Machamps! Okay. Good, now I know. And I can go back to playing Emerald.
Yeah, I think that they did the house thing as like that's what is actually determined that actually helps with the making sure that they do the correct stuff.
Whoops. Wait, where the... There it is.
And
Where
we
the
win.
fuck is the fifth case? The fifth case. Okay. Emerald!
Man, I timed that
Oh.
last ultimate perfectly. Holy shit. Basically, all of the other players were all kind of gathered together, so I just ended up just wiping the floor with all of them.
Wonderful.
All right, let's see. How close am I to getting Emma's next achievement? Oh, so I literally just need to force one more mutant to move. That's annoying. Is that my last achievement that I need for Emma? I think that is. Yeah.
Let's do some grinding and level Trico up like crazy, because that's fun. Whoa, hang on, level 8? When the fuck did you become level 8, dude? Alright. We're gonna take out this level 2 Pochiana like it's nothing. So...
Where's Wolverine? Why can't I find him? There he is.
Absorb is such an OP move to give this tiny little Pokemon. Alright, we're done here. Wait. How do I get out of here? Oh, that's right. I forgot. Duh. You go the other way, because I am so smart. And we're gonna talk to you. I'm going to catch a whole bunch of Pokemon.
Yeah, it's lost stand.
Okay, here we go. You can't say no to my challenge! Correct, because I'm about to get hella XP from it. Youngster Calvin! They started naming them, too. In, I believe, Gen 1, well, I know for a fact, in Gen 1, they did not name the random NPCs.
Yeah. So, some of them are named, but not very few of your. I think your. I think anyone that you battle has a name. I think.
No.
Oh.
Any random trainer that you battle in Gen 1 does not have a name.
Really? Oh.
They have a title. Like Gambler, Youngster, Lass, Gentleman, Lady, that kind of thing. They have a title.
But they don't have like a name.
But they don't have like a name. Whereas like here in Gen 3 it said Youngster Calvin.
Yeah, it's the title and then
title and then the name. Right, Youngster Calvin. There is no name in Gen 1.
Huh, I could have sworn there was.
Yep. I'm playing through Red. And yeah. It's very funny to just be like playing and going through the desert and it's like Gambler wants to fight, Gambler wants to fight, Gambler wants to fight.
Yeah. Do. Oh, we lost the first part. We were so close. Do. Do 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 do. Yeah, I'm kind of making it a point to play as characters that I don't play as that often.
Who are you playing as currently?
Wolverine.
Oh. Why don't you play Wolverine often?
Well, he's a melee character, and I'm really not that big of a fan of melee characters.
That's true, you never have been.
Yeah, like I'll occasionally play as some of the tanks that are melee, but like almost anybody else, it's just like no thanks.
That's fair.
But yeah.
Go, Trico!
But yeah, in like in Final Fantasy, I'll play as the different characters that are melee, but even then, I'm not super big of a fan of them.
Level 9! Attaboy, Trico! So I need to kill 3 people with Frost Stand.
I think it sounds like a major breakthrough there. You see, there's people from everyone got right around. This isn't good.
Good time, not better. Ba ba da ba dum bum bum. I also don't really play as freaking Black Widow very much either. Mostly because, like her, I think her sniping is probably one of the worst snipes I've ever seen in a game.
Yikes.
Yeah. Like, not necessarily, it's not her fault. It's more of, like, the maps themselves are not really well designed for, snipers. Like, comparatively, like, if you were to compare frickin' whatchamadoodle, why can't I think of its name? Overwatch. Overwatch has 2 snipers. Both of them are really well designed, but and their maps are also really well designed. So you kind of get this good. They basically are some of the most powerful characters that you can play as, but like here in Marvel Rivals, because of the fact that the maps really aren't the best designed for snipers, you end up just kind of suffering. If you play as either... Hawkeye is a little bit better because he kind of has a little bit more close range stuff. But Black Widow herself is just like, no, you don't want to play as her. Dag nabbit, I got killed while I was trying to do my thing. Nice, I win. Or we win this part. It's a 3-match part. Ay.
Go grew to level 10. Fuck yeah.
Is there a way to get? Oh, okay, that makes sense. But yeah, I've played a little bit with all of the different characters. I would say probably the worst character to play is Namor, and like part of it is because of the fact that he's just a turret character, so you don't feel as useful. But
Oh, fair.
the other part of it that makes him really annoying is his fucking lines. He is such a fucking playboy.
Oh god.
Yeah, it stinks. I hate him. And he's like constantly flirting with he's constantly flirting with Susan Storm, and it's just like, stop it. Stop doing it. Like seriously, Susan is happily married to Reed, so I don't know. I don't know why he's such a fucking tool. But you know.
They are in front of us. Everybody wants something. Let's see.
Player defeated youngster Allen.
Okay. Where am I getting hit from?
Who's next time? No, I will. We should spend more time on. That's not it. I think he's gonna have to change that. Yeah, we put a lot of pressure on him. Can you look through the patient? I don't know. No, what was that? No? We put a lot of pressure on him. When did I do this all the time? And it's not that I put it before. It's only one time. And after that, I ain't got freaking doing with the phone. That's not. No, I didn't ask that one smart. I'm just watching a little too situation. Don't put that red t-shirt in there. That's not color back. Just black. He said it was a better color. That's what little people will wear.
Come on, we can win this. We just need to.
Picking up items takes 85 years in the original games, and I swear to God.
Ow. Bad squirrel girl.
Like a bad penny, I just keep coming back.
I think it's funny. He has a line that it just came that he just said. I'm like a bad penny. I keep coming back. What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
Pennies that are bad luck, as in marked, or otherwise tampered with
Mm.
keep coming back around. You keep seeing them because you're predisposed to seeing them.
Oh, okay. But yeah, isn't like a face up penny is considered good luck, but a face down penny is considered bad luck?
Correct.
That's so weird. There we go. Oh, I actually did pretty well on this, despite the fact that I was playing as Logan. But yeah. But yeah, I've only gotten 2 characters up to Lord, which is basically the best way. You've played this character enough, more than any other character. Well, no. Basically, you've played it enough to be considered really good at the character.
That's not what I wanted to do. I know.
And basically, those characters are Luna Snow and Penny Parker. Everyone else is like the base rank, which is Agent, or a few of them, very few of them, are Knights. Except for Cloak and Dagger. Cloak and Dagger are actually pretty high up. But yeah, I have not played. I think this is like the one game where I haven't played that much of the of all of the characters. Like I usually will play like all of the different characters quite a bit, and kind of swap between them all. But for this one, I've just like really stuck to like a few specific characters, which I think is kind of bizarre for me. Like I said.
Interesting.
But it's also kind of interesting to me because a lot of people are every single person seems to have their own character that they really like. Like there are some people who will only play as Hulk. There are some people who will only play as Black Panther. There are people who will only play as Luna Snow or Penny Parker or blah 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 blah, all the different characters.
Interesting.
Yeah. And it's just like granted, there are fewer people who will play as certain characters. I think Black Widow is the character that I see the least of. Like I said, she's not really well designed for this specific game. And then after that, I think it's Namor. But most people hate him because of the way he talks. It's not because of like any. I don't like gameplay wise. I think a decent number of people like him. But like, I don't think anyone really likes what he says. So
That's fair.
yeah.
From what you've said, he sounds kind of caustic.
Yeah, he's such a dick, and like Hela is also kind of bad, but the difference between her and him is like he's just a dick. He is just a straight up dick. She is like obnoxious. To a certain degree, but it's mostly to like the healers. Like the most common line that she says is "healing. Why would I need healing?" Meanwhile, she's like,
Oh,
dying.
wow.
Like she'll say this after she gets healed when she's like at 1 HP, and it's just like, dude, that makes me not want to heal you. So yeah. Like a lot of the different characters will say, "Oh, I don't need this," or blah 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 blah. But they're like still saying like, "Thank you." Like freaking Invisible Woman, whenever she gets a shield, will say, "I have a shield, but thanks." Um, and Emma Frost will also be like, I was fine, but thank you. Like, a few of them are kind of like, that could be better. But at the same time, like, Hela is just annoying when you hear her. Why are you healing me nonsense? And same thing goes for Namor. Namor, it's just because he's such a freaking piece of shit. Like, Johnny is also a flirt, Human Torch, but he's a lot less obnoxious about it. Like, he'll accept, like, people turning him down. But Namor is just, like, constantly flirting with Invisible Woman, and it's just like, stop it! She's a married woman, and she is happily married. So.
Yeah, that's kind of gross.
It's so gross. And, like, he'll flirt with some other characters as well, but it's nowhere near as much as he does with Invisible Woman. And also, like, when he does flirt with, like, other characters, he'll be like, oh, you're very pretty, but you don't hold a candle to Susan Storm. And it's like, ew! Stop it! What are you doing?
That's crazy.
It's so bad. I don't know.
Okay, to the Pokemon Center because you have low PP. PowerPoints.
Yeah, thank you for saying that afterwards. We have dirty minds. Or at least I do now.
You have a dirty mind.
Oh, yeah.
I'm playing one of the most wholesome games ever.
To be fair, you also have dirty minds sometimes.
Almost always, yeah.
It's just with Pokemon.
Oh god, you know who's like the queen of having a dirty mind that you would never expect?
Who?
Mama Bear.
Oh, based on what you said, I 100% believe that.
Bro. There was one time, solely to make me uncomfortable because she was mad at me, she used the word snatch.
What the fuck?
When I tell you I was already suicidal and that made it worse.
Jeez.
I'm only half kidding. Like, I was like, oh,
Don't say that.
oh no, do not refer to that as that. Thank you. I am so good without you ever saying that again.
Oh,
And I was like, girl, what just happened? No. The mother figure who actually loves me did not just say that. That was like when my biological mom said the word pussy, and I was like, excuse me?
Excuse you? What?
Yeah. So I was like dancing around the word, trying not to say it to her because she's like a prude and does not like these explicit words.
Yeah.
Except
That's what I'm thinking.
maybe
with
my
that.
mother... Maybe my biological mother is secretly a book talk girly because she seemed real comfortable with the word cock and the word pussy, and I was uncomfortable.
What the fuck?
I
Your
said something
mother-
how I was yes, I was reading a book, and I said, "Oh, mom, maybe you shouldn't read this one. It has the word," and then put a picture of a rooster because I refused to say that word to my mother, at least the biological one. No, I'd probably refuse to say it to Mama Bear too. Except she said it out loud in front of me and I wanted to die. Anyway, my mother, yeah, she goes, oh, what word? And I was like, Mom, what's another word for rooster? She goes, oh, cock. And I was like, sure,
Where? How?
stop.
You.
And then
really?
earlier, it was like a few months ago, I said, oh, so-and-so called me a particular slang term for, you know, that. And she goes, oh, a pussy? And I was like,
What the fuck?
I just, like, couldn't even, I was like, you
You said this.
Literally, I was like, who is this woman and why is she talking to me? I'm scared. Return my mother. Return my prude of a mother who won't say the word crack cocaine, please. Is Wally missing again? Where has our Wally gone? Yep, okay, cool.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Like what is she reading? Yeah, I think she's reading freaking some of those
I'm like,
book talk things. Oh my gosh, there's
girl, what have you been reading and why are you okay saying these words? Swear to God. I'm like,
Yeah.
read your Bible! That's what you should be reading. It's bad enough that Mom Bear reads the spicy books. I literally told her, I was like, I was like, girl, some of those are just socially acceptable pornography. And she looks at me dead in the eyes and goes, yeah, I know.
Yeah, they kind of are. Why are books?
And here's the thing. I saw a meme the other day that I like 100% agree with. Because men sit there and they talk about these book talk books. Cis men, specifically white cis men, because that's just the demographic of assholes. No offense.
Yeah, I know. I know there's so many.
I'm like,
assholes.
not you, but the stereotype that
Yeah.
you represent.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. I adore you, though. We know this.
Yes.
So, okay. So, white cis men like to sit there and be like, ew, those are like the downfall of humanity. Oh my god, this is terrible.
Meanwhile, they're like.
What are we doing? Meanwhile,
they're-
Pornhub and Brazzers exist, and we're just sitting here as if that's not an entire business dedicated to their sexuality.
Yeah.
And oftentimes they're bizarre fetishes,
Yeah.
right? And so they have an entire industry, multiple industries, if you consider that Las Vegas is literally the home of that industry. Multiple industries dedicated to their sexuality. And there was this meme, and it went through all of this and said that, you know, that's what radicalized me in favor of these horny girly books. And it said, one of the tags, because there was a Tumblr post that was a screenshot into a meme. And one of the tags goes, hashtag, do I like the Spicy Dragon books? No, in all caps. Will I, what was it? It was like, will I fight for it till the death next to an elf for their right to read them? Also, yes. And I was like, no, but that's me.
Got it.
Yeah, basically. And it was really funny because all I could think was, yeah, that's what Mama Bear reads. And it was really funny. Okay, so Mama Bear likes to call me out in general, but if she gets a chance to call me out in a funny way, she'll take it because she knows that I'm not going to get offended. And sometimes, I swear to God, she calls me out on the carpet and just basically strips me into my underwear. And exposes me to the world because, and if anybody read our text, I think I would die. Because she just kind of sits there and is like, yoink! And all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I'm very aware of myself right now. So the other day, we're texting. And I sent her this video that was like what I hear when the male main character growls, and it's this chihuahua going like, you know, like the sound that chihuahuas make, like kind of like a child's lawnmower that makes bubbles.
Oh.
Like that was the noise that it was making, and she goes, "LOL, not quite. Cute video though." And I'm like, what do you know? What hockey player? Or I said, not everyone. No, it was what I first did. As I was like, well, Mama Bear, not everyone reads books about wolfies. And she goes, nuh-uh, there's some hockey players in there too. And I was like, girl, what? I don't think a hockey player is growling either. And she goes, I don't know. Maybe they do. They're tough guys. And I was like, oh my god.
This is
I was
probably
like,
my
girl,
dirtiest
I don't-
stream ever.
You might want to mark it rated R.
See, that's the thing. Well, I don't allow kids to watch, or I think I have like, I don't know if I have like kids aren't allowed to watch it, but I have like, this is not meant for kids, and this is very
Fair.
much proving it.
Anyway, so she's like, there are hockey players too. And I was like, I don't usually think about hockey players past, please don't score, or please score, and not like that.
Oh my god.
And she looks at me, we're texting, and you can feel the eye contact. Do you know how that is when you when someone is texting you, but you know they're making eye contact with your soul?
Yes. Yeah, we do that
Okay.
all the time.
Yeah, so that's what she did. And she goes, don't even try to lie, we both know you're attracted to men. Comma, some of those hockey players are hot. You know the ones.
What the fuck?
So then I had to find a polite way to tell my mother, my surrogate mother, the woman who loves me more than pretty much anybody on this planet, who has taken me to the hospital, has sat with me all night on her birthday at the hospital. Like, the woman... I had to find a polite way to explain to her that hockey players are not bottoms, and if I'm with a man, he has to be a bottom. I had to find a polite way to explain that, and so what I did is text my friend Liz and ask her, how do I politely say this? And she was like, you just gotta say it with your full chest. And I was like, shit, no. And so I took a screenshot of that and sent it to Mama Bear and said, LOL, I'm funny. And she just sent me 3 crying, laughing faces as a response. And I was like, okay, we're good. That is a... She goes, and then she has the audacity to continue the conversation. And I sit there and I'm like, oh my god, what have I just done? Because now I can't end the conversation. Because I started it, technically. Even though I was really praying with every fiber of my being that she would not continue the conversation. I should have known better because it's Mama Bear. And every time they say the word shaft in a hockey game, which is often because the shaft of the stick is something people get hit with. Okay, every time they say the word shaft, she giggles!
Oh no!
So I really should have known better.
Probably.
I should have known better. I should have known better. I should have known better. I should have known better.
Probably.
And yet, I still opened this can of worms, and she looks at me with the same text message eye contact, and goes, well, I think some of them might be switched, because sometimes they just like to take a load off and not deal with the stress of the game.
Oh, what
Not
the
like
hell?
that. Not like that. That came out wrong. That's not exactly what she said. She said they like to relax and not have the stress of the game on their shoulders. And I was like, okay, fair. Next conversation topic anyway, and she just sent me another set of laughing emojis. And I was like,
Oh my god.
I cannot have this conversation with the surrogate mother in my life. I just can't. I'm sorry. There's a line, and we are jumping rope with it right now.
Oh my gosh.
That is my life. Jumping rope with the line between friend and son. Because sometimes it's really funny because she's stopped ranting to me about her love life, which I'm quite grateful for. She has stopped ranting to me about her love life, which I'm quite grateful for. However, she has not stopped ranting about other things.
Oh no.
And so sometimes, not like that, like literally nothing about her marriage or partnership in general. Like, nothing. And I'm glad for it, because I never have any advice. Like, I'm a 26-year-old dude
Yeah.
who has been single for most of his life, except for 3 years with probably someone who was kind of psychotic. And like, you know, I don't need to hear about these things.
Yeah.
I don't, and not that I don't care, I do care, and I would happily listen to them if she wanted me to. But I'm also happy that that boundary has kind of been drawn between you are my son now and you were my friend before.
Yeah.
And sometimes that line is still blurred because obviously we had that conversation about whether hockey players could possibly be a bottom. And one of the things that I said was that I preferred baseball players because their pants do better things for them,
Oh my god.
which they do. Which they do, and she goes, "I'll give you the pants thing."
Oh my god.
This woman, I adore her.
But holy
She
cow.
is probably one of the best humans I know. Sent me a picture of a sticker she wants to get. That was a picture of an N64 cartridge
Yeah.
that said "blow me."
Yeah, you said that. You said that.
And I go, girl, maybe don't get that one. And she goes, well, it's only going on my private journal anyway. And I was like,
Oh no. That almost.
well, I
feels
can't
worse.
fault you for that because I often have inappropriate stickers on my notebooks. Although they're mostly of the, like, super gay. Well, I guess Blow Me is super gay. Yeah, anyway. Especially because she's a woman. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
Back to Pokemon Emerald.
Yes, let's talk about Pokemon instead. But yeah,
Oh, there's Wally.
or we could talk about books. I think it's fun. We've kind of said this before that I think that a lot of the smutty books could actually be pretty good if you change them to be more like. I think that they would have a bigger.
Dove Family Films eyes them.
Yeah, exactly. Like they could kind of do that. I think.
See, but here's the thing. Do I like the spicy books? No. Do I want to read the spicy books? Not really. Do I have one sitting in my pile of books unread because it's spicy? Absolutely the fuck I do, because I did not know that it was spicy when I bought it. Until Mama Bear stuck her stinking nose in it! Which, part of me is like, thank God.
What is it for?
Because it was near the end. No, it's called Wolf Song. It's by T.J. Klune. And
Okay.
what you didn't know about T.J. Klune is that in his older books, the ones he first started writing, and he will say it himself, he was almost pandering to that crowd who wanted spicy books. Because his first book that he wrote was The Bones Beneath Our Skin, and it got rejected by the publishers for having only one sex scene. And he was really upset and said, what about asexual people, and so on and so forth. And so then he wrote this other series of books called Wolf Song, Raven Song, and like it's a 4-book series, and I can't remember all their titles.
Mm.
And apparently they are very spicy because Mama Bear saw this book sitting on the table in her living room, and it was my copy of this book. And here I am thinking, it's T.J. Klune. Everything I've read of T.J. Klune has been relatively clean. There has been one sex scene, and it wasn't even actual sex. It was just spicy.
Yeah.
And then other than that, there has been all of one comment about sex in the entire book library of his that I have read. And it's a vague, brief comment at the end of a book. And so here I am going, oh, Mama Bear, you wouldn't like that one. It's not spicy. She goes, oh, I love anything about wolf shifters. And I was like, well, that does have wolf shifters. And she goes, you're sure it's not spicy? And I was like, pretty darn. And so her nosy ass turns to the back of the book looking for spice because she's convinced it's there. And she finds the sentence, I licked him from balls to ass.
Oh, what the hell?
And I was like, oh, DJ Klune, what have you done?
What have you done to my boy?
And then I realized these are his older books, and I'm like, girl, you started out this way? What happened to make you write Linus and Arthur?
That's
How did you
true.
get here?
That's so true.
Boy, how did you get here? We know Arthur and Linus have had sex.
Yeah, but
That
it's
is
very,
briefly touched upon.
That is briefly touched upon, but it's not like spicy. It's like Yeah.
No, it was literally the phrase they sometimes send the kids to fucking Zoe's.
Yeah. And like Zoe knows, but the kids don't.
Zoe knows. But the kids are like, oh, we're gonna spend time with Zoe, yay!
But
Oh
yeah.
gosh.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of wondering like what exactly is gonna be happening when with A.F. Stedman's adult book that she's working on.
Oh man, if she writes a spicy scene, I might cry.
I might too. That'd be so bad.
Dear God. That was like reading a spicy scene written by J.K. Rowling. Back before J.K. Rowling was a piece of shit. My God.
Oh,
I got blindsided in a book of hers, and I was like, okay.
what the fuck? She
Well-
really did this?
Yes.
What? How did I
In the
not
book
know?
Casual Vacancy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's basically about how politicians are bad. So that's really ironic, I think.
That the fact that she's like such a piece of shit.
Yeah. Like, wow, girl, you had like half a moral at one point.
half moral.
What happened? Maybe an eighth.
Didn't she become
A moral.
Isn't she now a politician or some shit?
No, she just gave them £70,000 to say some dark shit.
Oh, okay.
So, there's that.
Yeah. Jeez. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of interesting. But like we've talked a little bit about Fourth Wing, and like you don't want to read it because spicy as fuck. But like
Correct.
I've said before, and I'll probably say it again. It would be really I think for people who are Arrow Ace or Demi, I think that making a version of the book that has a lot that removes the spice would probably make it something that a lot more people would want to read, because there are a lot of people.
But I also think that she was writing for a specific audience, and so
Yeah.
we can't say, oh, I don't like that book because I'm not the audience,
Yeah,
and I want that book changed because I'm not the audience. That's not fair.
yeah, I'm not
We
saying
have
that. Let me make that very-
thousands of books that are not spicy that have just as good fantasy characters
Yeah,
as Akatar and Fourth Wing and all of that.
yeah,
And we have just as good.
yeah,
For every spicy book, there's at least 10 that are just as good that aren't spicy.
yeah.
So you don't have to read the spicy book, and we also don't have to say it would be better if these books were changed, because
Yeah, I'm not
Would
saying
it?
that they're better. They'd be better without the spice. I'm saying that more people would probably read them.
but do you know how big that demographic is? I mean,
No.
think about how fucking popular it is right now,
Yeah, that's true.
right? So
But-
think about, for every creator that is one of those book talk girlies, how many followers does she have? Yes, they overlap, but think about that number for just a minute, and then compare that to the amount of women, and specifically mothers, in the United States.
Fair
Does it
point.
hurt?
That just really hurt. Okay. Oh, that's weird. That's weird to think about.
That Venn diagram is almost a circle.
But yeah, I think that I'm not necessarily saying that they should change it. But like one thing that that I noticed in like the third book, that one
Have
there's a
you
lot
read
of-
all of them despite the spice?
Yes, I have actually, which is like those are the least favorite parts for me. But I love the story. The story is actually really freaking good, and there is a lot of love between the two main characters, and it's not just about the sex, which is really good. I like that, and I think that that's one of the reasons why I love the book so much.
That's
but at the same,
bizarre.
it's so weird because I don't like the spice of it, but
You know another book that blindsided me with spice? I was way too young and super unprepared.
which one?
Stephen King's 11.
Anything Stephen King is just like what the fuck. But what book was it you said?
Stephen King's 11/22/63. It's a book about Kennedy's assassination and time travel and other shit like that. And so my mom naturally was like, "Oh, sure, yeah, it's like one of Stephen King's not horror books." Well, my mother has never read Stephen King because she doesn't believe in reading horror novels.
So she
And
doesn't
so what she
understand,
didn't
he's
know-
such a yeah.
What she didn't know was that he also writes some very interesting sex scenes. So yeah, blindsided by that nonsense.
Oh yeah, that'd do it.
So yeah, here's the deal. Do I like the spicy books? No. Am I going to read the spicy books? No. Am I gonna fight for my mama bear's right to read the spicy books because Jesus fuck, that girl deserves something good in her life. Something that actually brings her joy.
Yeah.
It brings her joy. Do I get it?
Nope.
Not remotely. No. No, she has a collection of spicy books on her Kindle, and I have a collection of Pokemon games in various languages. And that, dear friends, is the difference between demisexual and not demisexual.
That's true.
Oh my god. Okay, so you know how my sister Ashley, we like to joke that she collects autistic people?
Yes.
Did I already say this joke?
Yes.
Oh, it still makes me laugh. Just the collecting of sisters.
Yeah. Yeah, you said that during this stream.
I remember saying it to you. I didn't remember if it was during this stream.
We're having an interesting time. Let's just leave it at that.
My brain resets all the time.
Yeah, you're good.
Do-do-do.
ADHD,
The fuck?
autism, yeah.
Here's me. Let me guess. Yes, I am a Pokemon trainer.
Oh, did the stream crash? No, it didn't. It's just being dumb. Okay. Alright.
How fucking rude are you, dude?
Ooh, good job, Jeff. How am I getting assists? Why was I getting assists there?
Oh, that's right. I forgot about this guy by the seaside who's not there for like the first half of the game. Berries! Berries, berries, berries! Okay, so you know what I realized?
What?
You can practically draw a line between generations just by saying the word peaches around someone. I'll tell you how. Are you ready for this?
Sure.
Because millennials and older Gen Z, so like your 2001, 2002 crowd,
Yeah.
will probably go with something along the lines of peaches come from a can. They were put there by a man. or move into the country, ... Someone younger than that, we're talking 04, 05 crowd and younger, will probably tell you peaches, 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 peaches.
Oh, that too. I was like thinking more of like a butt. Because
I was talking about songs specifically, not
okay,
slang.
Songs. Yeah, I have no idea.
And it's really funny because you can practically distinguish a generation from each other with that. Also, so I said something that dated me without me ever realizing that it dated me. So for the record, I function as the oldest of 6.
yes.
I am the eldest, but I function more like one of the middles. Anyway. However, being oldest also means that I experienced some things before my siblings were even born. For instance, I remember the year that Squirt was born. I don't remember her birth, obviously, because I haven't known her that long. But I remember the year she was born. I have memories from that year.
Yeah.
Okay. And so therefore I have memories for the rest of them as well. In fact, the youngest one was born in 2020. And she's 5.
That is insane to think about.
I know. She's getting ready to start school in the fall. And I was in college when she was born. Yeah. So, that in and of itself is something to come to terms with. But the way that I dated myself, so we were watching the movie Wicked, which...
Oh no! I can already see where this is going. Ugh.
We were watching the movie Wicked. And they were asking me to describe Glinda the Good Witch. And I was trying to think of pop culture characters that are like Glinda the Good Witch. And so I thought of one of the most ubiquitous pop culture characters ever to grace the planet. Our Lord and Savior, London Tipton. And I go to this room full of people who have birth years that I have memories for.
Uh-huh.
And I go, oh, think London Tipton, And I shit you not. Every single one of them looked at me and went, who?
Of course they did.
And that right there is how I knew I need to check myself into an old folks home.
I mean, you've known this for years that you need.
Oh, but sometimes it just hits me like a Mack truck. You know what I mean? Like, you're just sitting there having a nice day, and then your little sister, who is 13, comes up to you and goes, so I saw Pokemon Diamond at the Retro Games Festival.
No, fuck. Don't say retro. It's not retro.
Yeah, no, it is, because you know what other things she saw?
Oh no.
So I think retro, right? If I think retro, standing right here, right now in 2025, my idea of retro is like the Game Boy Advance that I'm holding, and older.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that makes sense. Because the Game Boy Advance wasn't that long ago. No, bitch, it was 30 years ago.
Jeez, what the fuck?
Okay, so now that we have that fact established... Okay. So the Game Boy Advance that I'm holding is, yes, retro.
Yeah.
So is the 2DS I'm holding.
No! Shut up! It is not retro!
The DS! The DS. Not the original DS that's blocky and shaped kind of like, a weird three-dimensional geometric shape. Not the original DS. Not the DS Lite.
Not the 3DS. The 2DS.
Not even the DSi, my friend. Or the 3DS. Or the 3DS XL. I mean, these were all there.
Yeah.
But the 2DS was present.
No!
What's worse And this one gets me every single time because in my brain, we went from the Wii to the Switch, and that's not a far transition.
Yeah, I mean there was the
Because
Wii
in
U
my
there,
brain,
but-
and it, right, but I never had one, and I didn't really care. I heard that it was a terrible console, so I never got one.
yeah, and that's the same for almost everybody.
Right, and so to me, it goes Wii Switch, and they're like, the thing that gets me is that I remember buying this brand new Wii and being like, this is the coolest, newest technology. This is so great. Look, we have to move our hands to play the game. And thinking it was like the pinnacle of the future
Yeah.
for it to be found at a retro games convention.
Shit. That hurts. That really hurts.
It has been 20 years.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. We're getting older. Let me just watch my hand decay right in front of me.
Literally, I'm like turning to dust as it is.
Oh
I
my
remember
gosh.
when Gen 4 of Pokemon came out, and we're almost to Gen 10.
Jeez, what the fuck? That hurts.
I know. Like, not only do I remember it, I remember going and getting it from GameStop.
Yeah. That's insane. That is an insane factor.
Like, yeah, I remember Gen 3. Like, Gen 3 was the first Pokemon games that I ever played. I found a Pokemon Ruby in the grass at my church. And my dad was like, yeah, sure, you can play this. Even though my parents had previously been like, Pokemon is Satan.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, he was like, yeah, sure, you can play this. And I was like, sweet. So that started my obsession.
Yeah.
And, so I played Gen 3, but I was like 7 or 8 when I found it. So a little after Gen 3 had already come out. But Gen 4 hadn't come out yet. And Gen 4 came out, and I remember going and getting it from GameStop.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember us getting like I had played like I completely skipped over Gen 3, but I played like Gen 1 and Gen 2 because my cousin had it. And then yeah, I played and then Gen 4 came out and I was like, this is going to be my first actual game that is going to be mine. And oh,
Exactly.
it's
Yeah, it's the first new one I remember coming out.
yeah. Like I didn't consider
Like, I was alive for Gen 3, but I was 5.
yeah. Like I considered Gen 1 and Gen 2 way probably more than a lot of other people did at the time as being like, "Oh, these are kind of new, right?" And they'd actually been out for
Son of a
few years.
bitch.
Huh?
Not you. I just said you son of a bitch to the bitch who used a full restore on her fucking Zigzagoon.
Yeah. But yeah, like I played through like I said, I played through Gen 1, I played through Gen 2, and then like I didn't finish them because older the Game Boy games are kind of shite when it comes to battery life. Like you have to change the battery in the freaking cartridge in order for it to actually save your memory, which is just kind of yeah.
Yeah, see, I cheat and get reproductions because they're exactly the same.
Yeah. That's fair.
Because there ain't no fucking way. I have an original red that I bought for $40 off a guy who didn't know what he had. But other than that, you know, I have reproductions. And you know what? They work just the exact same.
Yeah.
I can play the game and save.
Yep. And that's
And it
fine.
works on my original Game Boy Advance.
Yeah. And I'm kind of thinking of getting like the ones on the Switch at some point, because those are. It's kind of fun to think about that.
Which ones are on the Switch?
The originals actually, like one
What?
I think even Ruby and Sapphire are on there.
What? No way.
Yeah, they are.
My Switch is dead, otherwise I'd have to check.
I think they are. They might. It might be like a little bit more challenging to get, but I think that the original games are all on the Switch now, and you can play them.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, it kind of is. But they're trying. To be fair though, Nintendo is kind of trying to do a thing where
Where what?
so Nintendo is kind of trying to share more information with people and stuff like that, and making sure that people are able to play all of them, and you know. But basically being able to play all of their older games. Like frickin' we're getting frickin' whatchamadoodle, the Coliseum and XD are going on to the Switch too, which, speaking of, I'm going to try to play those when they come out, when I get my Switch.
That's a good goal.
Yeah. But yeah, I have never played Coliseum, so that'll be fun. Dang it. Okay. But yeah, maybe I'll check it in a sec to see if I'm right in that, because I feel like I might be wrong. I'm not 100% certain if I'm right about whether or not the Switch has all of the original games, but I think it does. Alright. I think after this match, I'm going to go ahead and call it for the stream.
Oh, okay. What time is it? Oh my gosh.
Almost 10:30. So not
10:17.
Well, yeah. But yeah, I think we're about to lose this match, and I'm just tired.
That's fair.
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, it's I don't know. I don't know. Marvel Rivals is just kind of one of those games that you're not really. I don't feel is the best necessarily for streaming. Despite the fact.
Why is that?
Like mostly just due to the fact that it's there's not really super much to do besides like it's very repetitive, at least at this point in time. You're basically doing the exact same thing multiple times, and yeah, each match is practically the same. So like sometimes you'll win, sometimes you'll lose, and stuff like that. It's great if you're talking with somebody, and you're not really too concerned. But if you want to like actually be doing good, then it's like, it could be better.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. And I don't think that's
So by the time it comes on the Switch 2, you're gonna be bored of it and not want to play with us.
No, I think it will. It'll still be. It's good. And in fact, I think that it will probably be better with playing with friends. But, and I'm mostly like saying for streaming, it's not the best. Because the main thing that you're wanting to do is your missions, and when you're done with the missions, then it's like, what else do I need to be doing right now? So, like, you can work on achievements, but it's kind of hard to remember what you need to do for the achievements. So, it's whatever. It's fine. It's not necessarily a bad game. It's just kind of different. But anyways, guys, that is where we're going to go ahead and call it for the stream today. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. I've been Electro Ninja. And Jack has joined me. And we will see you guys in the next one. But on.
Right.